Hi, my name's Jnanadhara, and this is a thought for the day. So at this time, if you're like me, you've got a lot of different demands on your time and energy, and sometimes it's hard to know what the best thing is to be doing. There's so many different things one could be doing, and for a lot of us, our established routines will be completely upset. So you're kind of wondering, well, what do I do next? And no doubt it's worth reflecting on these questions and talking with one's friends and trying to clarify what the best response is and what we should be doing, and also how to manage our own well-being within the demands that are being made of us. And one of the things that can happen is you just get overwhelmed with input, you get overwhelmed with information, and I've got so many emails and messages from all the different organisations and communities and that I'm part of, also from friends and family members, so many messages, and sometimes it's difficult to know which thing to respond to next. So what I've been trying to do is just be with that kind of sense of there being an awful lot of different streams of input. And one thing that I've been trying to do, which is something that I've been reminded of recently, partly because I was talking about it last night in a Dharma class, is the simple practice of just doing one thing at a time. So this is a phrase that comes from Sangharakshita, from Bhante, from our teacher. And I just find it really helpful at the moment. So when I'm doing something, whatever it is, I just try and do that as fully as possible. And I find that's almost kind of therapeutic. Particularly what I've been appreciating is just simple tasks. Like I just washed up after breakfast, and I just really enjoyed the fact that all I needed to do at that point in time was just rub soapy water on a plate, and that's all I needed to do, and just try and give myself to that activity as fully as possible. So I think that's something we can always do, whatever we're doing, is just try and do the activity that we're engaged in as fully as we can, and just leaving all the other things to the side for the moment before we move on to the next thing. I don't want to oversimplify the situation, because we are going to have to make decisions at some point about what we do next and what's important. But I do think that once we've made that decision, the practice is to do that thing, whatever it is, whether it's washing the dishes or writing an email or talking to a friend, to do that as fully as possible. Just to do one thing at a time, and to make that a practice. But our practice, whatever we do individually, so to speak, takes place in the context of a wider perspective. And one of the things I've really appreciated an awful lot is some of the practice that I've done, some of the meditation, some of the puja that I've done with others online. And what's been interesting to me is the fact that even though we're in different places, we feel together. And we feel together because we're looking at pictures of each other and listening to each other on a gadget, on a computer or a mobile phone or a tablet. And I've just been thinking, well, how would it be if I was able to keep that connection in mind all the time, so that all the practice that I do, I feel that I'm doing both with and even for others. And I think, it's just something I've been reflecting on, is to sort of challenge my own imagination to not rely on a gadget to inform me that somebody else is doing the practice that's going on all the time, but actually imagine that that's happening, because it is happening. We're all doing all sorts of things, all not just in our community, but in the wider community. People are doing all sorts of altruistic things to help others at this time. So if we can do our practice, which might be a simple act of just doing one thing at a time, we can feel connected in that with everything, and feel that our personal practice, as it were, is taking place within a much wider context. So I think it's really good at this time just to try and do one thing at a time, and also to see that practice is taking place within a much wider context of our connections and our relationships with other beings and the whole world.